What is up, guys? Steve here. Welcome back to my channel where we're going over your rental car fleet. Mostly Turo, but this will work with any of your car sharing platforms. There's multiple out there like Get Around, Hire a Car, Turo. I mainly deal with Turo, so that's the one I really stick with. But like I said, most all this stuff applies to just about any one of those platforms that you decide to use. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you're new to Turo and you don't quite know what it is, Turo is a car sharing platform. It's like Airbnb for your car. Turo is probably going to get annoyed because they're trying to get away from it being an Airbnb, going under that name, and they want to have Turo a household name just like Airbnb is, but basically that's what it is. If you guys are struggling to get your cars going, and I know things are getting a little bit different because market's starting to get saturated, this and that, and you want some one-on-one time, be sure to look in the description. I have links below to get one-on-one with me and figure out what needs to happen to your profile to get the best earnings possible for your cars. Today we're gonna get into, this will probably be kind of a 2-3 part series, but the basic most asked questions for new hosts when they get to Turo. So let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, we will get into this availability. And before we do, make sure you guys do all that stuff at the bottom, like, subscribe, and let's get into the availability. So how often should I be available? Should I be on here 24/7? Should I do a 9 to 5? Like, what is going to work? There's multiple ways to go about this, I should say. You can be basically, yes, you can be available 24/7, but do you really want to have somebody booking your car and calling you at 2 in the morning saying, hey, I'm here, where are you at? Or how am I supposed to get the keys? There's so many different ways to go about it. And another thing you need to take into consideration is it going to be a peer-to-peer, you're handing off the keys, or is it going to be a contactless where you have a lockbox on the window? Now, if you have the lockbox, it kind of frees you up a little bit, but for the most part, you still have to be available. So even if you do have a lockbox, it's not like you can just say, here's the code, and then your trip starts in 3 days, so have fun. No, you still got to do your due diligence with all this stuff. So you have to be available to talk to the renter anytime that they're ready to pick up and drop off the car. So me personally, I do the 10 to 12 hour days, depending on what's what. And then once you start seeing when your renters are normally booking, the times, you can adjust your times and adjust your days off. But for the most part, I do 11-hour days and 7 days a week. And if I know I'm gonna be home, not on vacation, not out of town, then whatever, then it is what it is. If I know that I'm gonna be out of town, then I'll adjust my days. We'll just go with the idea, it's 12-hour days, and I have lockboxes. Now, this makes it so much easier because I'm not constantly having to go back and forth. I can just go check on my cars about once a day, or however they're renting, but my availability is set up 12 hours. Now know that your cars, no matter what, the best way to get them out on the road is to be available 24/7, but you also got to worry about your mental health, your family health, like all that stuff. So make sure you do what's right for you. If you are willing to be up 24/7, you're one of these young guns that you're just out there hustling and grinding and just trying to make it happen, then power to you. But at some point you are going to get burned out, I'll tell you that right now. So definitely do what's going to work for you in the long run, because you don't want to get burned out on this and then just say, you know what, I'm done with it, I'm out, forget it, somebody else handle my cars, do it. So that kind of gives you an idea about availability. Now, the next thing is discounts. Should I offer them? How much should I offer? Should I offer it at the end of the trip, at the, whatever you got going on at the booking? And my whole thing is, if you are renting your car out and it is constantly getting booked at the best price possible, and it's getting booked for 90-95% of the month, definitely don't even worry about the discounts at this point right now. But I do know that with the market getting a little bit more saturated, a lot more hosts coming in, then people are undercutting. You got to be careful. You got to figure out what works best for you, but only do the discounts if you absolutely have to. Remember, Turo puts these discounts on there, and all these recommended discounts, they put them on there to help out the renter, and it takes money out of your pocket, not Turo's, it takes it out of yours. And so that's where it's kind of tricky, and I'm not a big fan of giving away a whole lot of money. So definitely do whatever works for you. And honestly, I don't offer a whole lot. Especially right now, just the way things are, I try and keep as much money in my pocket as possible, as you guys should as well. All right, so the next question we got, I'm just wanting to start with Turo, not quite sure what cars to get. What should I do? Should I go buy a new car? Should I get a used car? Should I use my personal car? My only thing is, since you're not into this yet or you're just getting started, use what you have personally. If you have a car that's sitting in the yard, or a family member's car that's sitting in the yard not doing anything, list that car. No reason to go out and tie up your credit just to get on the platform to find out, you know what, I don't even like this. I don't like dealing with people. I don't like having people come back with, lying to me about smoking in my car or all the trash in the car. I just don't want to deal with customer service, and I don't like how people treat my cars. And you want out. Well, now you're stuck with the car payment, and who knows if you're even able to afford it once you get this car. So there's so many ways to go about it, and I'm always a big advocate of only buy what you can afford. So only whatever you can afford. If it's down for the count, if it's down for a recall, anything like that, whatever you can afford while it's not making you money. There are things, and there's plenty of people out there that'll say, hey, go out there and go blast your credit, go make sure you get all the cars you can. Well, that's great, but I won't even say I agree with this, because what's to say that you just get into this, you go out, you blasted your credit out there, and now you got 5, 6, 7 cars that you bought in a couple weeks that are all close to $1,000 payments because you decided to go super luxury edition status with your fleet. It's all bad. You get into 6 months, a year, and you're like, you know what, I don't even want to do this. And now you can't even dump the cars because you're upside down on them, and now you're screwed. You just blew your credit. Good luck buying a house. Good luck, doing anything with your personal credit in the future. You're gonna have to wait, 7 to 10 years till all that stuff falls off, right? And that's the last thing I want for you guys. That's the last thing I want to happen to you guys. So definitely go out and do what you can afford. If you can start up an LLC, business, and get business credits where you're not tying up your own credit, that's even better. Definitely do that. And I think once you get into this, you're gonna want that period. You're gonna want to make sure you have that umbrella coverage, and that way if anything happens, because it's not a matter of if but when, something happens, they can't come after you personally, and it's under the business. And that way your credit's still protected, the business has its own credit, and you can move on with life if you decide you don't want to do this anymore. So that's kind of the major thing right now, the biggest questions that new hosts are having, and I will definitely do a couple more videos on this because tons of questions that I always get, so I will definitely make sure that I make more videos on this and make it work as smoothly as possible. If you guys are in a jam, you kind of want to hit me up, like I said, check out the link below. You can get a hold of me. We'll make this happen. We'll make your fleet run smoother. As for now, like I said, make sure you guys like, subscribe, do all that stuff. It helps out with the algorithm. Share this with your buddies. It helps get all this information out to more people just like you. And honestly, it helps me out too, so it's just kind of all one big circle. Let's just make sure we're helping each other out, get that fleet running as smoothly as possible, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot, guys. Later.